Hi there, this is Crystal with Finding Your Road Home, and thank you for joining us for Conversations with Finding Your Road Home. Today I have Terri Good with me from Infinite Synergy Wellness, and we have four very short topics that we would like to talk to you about, right, Terri?
Yep, 4 quick ones.
Okay, so let's just why do we want to talk to you about 4 topics? And Terri, please feel free to jump in at any time, because I know that your energy around this might be a little higher than mine. So I want to make sure that we're getting the right level of excitement. But in November, what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to provide our friends and family and loved ones and strangers an opportunity to explore these 4 different topics. And we just want to explore those as a way to prepare for that, that growth and that change that we all always decide on January 1, let's go do this change. And we haven't completely prepared for it. What else are we going to include in that, Terri? I know I've forgotten something. Probably the most important
I think that's
thing.
awesome. Like as a personal trainer, so I'm a personal trainer, a former gym owner, a healthy cookbook author. Crystal is, we're both Reiki practitioners, and Crystal is the author of a very beautiful oracle deck called Find Your Road Home. And we are going to be offering some things in January. But I can tell you, in my 33 years in the fitness industry, what I see happen in January is that people are coming down from the highs of the holidays, and their momentum in terms of personal health and wellness, personal well-being, taking time for themselves. Most of my clients are busy moms, and and they're giving to everybody else. And so what happens is in November and December, their momentum in terms of taking care of themselves, it kind of goes backwards. And in January, they try to take a moving train that's going the opposite way where they want to go, and they try to stop it and turn it real quickly. And what's so beautiful about January is that we feel that momentum, and that's why we're able to turn that train around and get it to go. But as women, we don't carry so much testosterone as men. Sorry, ladies, we are not physically as strong as men. We don't have the hormones men do. We fizzle out. And we wonder why.
It takes a lot of energy to turn that ship around too. So that expends a lot right in the beginning, right?
Yes, huge. Yeah. And so the goal for us for the month of November is to offer free programming. And I'm not going to lie, in hopes that you will join us in January for our paid programming. But even if you don't, if this helps you, we are happy. Okay. And so we are going to be doing some journal prompts and doing some things to help keep that momentum of self-care moving forward, as opposed to going the other way. And that way in January, when it's time for you to roll, whether it's with our program or another program, you are ready. You are ready. You've already got the momentum and the speed going.
Absolutely. And in my 25 years as an educator, I will tell you that the holiday season for a grown-up is like the summer season for a student. The students have that summer slide. And as adults, we have that holiday slide. Okay, we're just going to let these things go, and we're just going to go enjoy, and it's going to be crazy. And so our hope is also to provide you this vehicle to help prevent that holiday slide, to empower you actually to think about ways to do the same activities, but do it different, so that you're not harming yourself in the process, but you're still getting the great endorphins from it, right?
Yes. So still enjoying the holidays, but doing it in a way that doesn't completely send the train running backward.
Yes.
And these are tried and true. These things work. I know they do, because even though I'm a fitness professional, I didn't grow up in a house that celebrated broccoli and working out. It didn't, and that's fine. I mean, my family loved us.
You didn't have a broccoli tree. You didn't have a broccoli tree at Christmas.
No,
I mean, come on.
No, we grew up on sugar and junk food and comfort food, and that's why I wrote a cookbook on that, is how to eat better, but still have comfort food that's cleaner. But yes, so this is tried and true. It works. I'm 49 years old. I'm in great shape. I know you can do this too. But the best part, and Crystal and I, in case anybody doesn't know, we are old schoolmates. Like, we've been friends for a very long time. And so Crystal and I both, neither one of us really probably grew up on the tightest of nutritional and fitness and personal growth scale.
And we know each other's baggage. We've got lots of that kind of baggage.
Yeah, we all do. But that's the thing. Everybody does. And so
absolutely.
Right. So
shucking it off the train.
Exactly. And so the big thing is that I want people to know, it's not just a given. It's not just a gift. A thought is a belief is a thought you keep having over and over again. So we want to help you go back to some thoughts that maybe you had when you were a kid, that maybe you're starting to realize they're not really true, or maybe you need to realize they're not true. They're just a thought you kept thinking, this belief that you need to let go of.
Yes, and which is beautifully, yes, our first topic. Oh, I am so excited about the whole let go topic, because for me, it's Alice in Wonderland falling down that hole. She turns the light on and she explores all the different things. So she's falling down that hole to release whatever it is that she was, going down to get away from. And she's exploring it all. So, because she's ready to shuck it off her train. She's tired of it.
I'm so glad you explained that, because I have to be honest, I never understood Alice in Wonderland. I always remember watching it as a kid going, what is going on? What are all these things? And so you guys, Crystal had to actually explain to me that this was about questioning who made these rules.
Yeah.
I love
letting go of those preconceived definitions and those rules that we've been told all of our life. Like, there are certain ones that serve us, but there's other ones that don't serve us. So we need to shuck those off the train too. I mean, as light as we can keep that train, and as light as we can get it, if we need to do any shifting in January, it'll be easier so that we have more momentum. I
Good.
just like your train analogy.
What can we let go? I know, I love it. What can we let go of? But by the way, Crystal and I grew up in Galesburg, Illinois, a town that was built around the railroad. Trains everywhere. So it's kind of funny that train comes up there. I just think that's funny.
I do too.
So letting go, the whole purpose of this is to give you some exercises, or an exercise. It could be something like getting rid of physical clutter. So maybe cleaning out drawers, cleaning out your closet, throwing out things you don't need. I just moved to this house and I'm already noticing clutter starting to come in. My desktop is cluttered on my computer. I got busted on that the other day.
As a creative, totally. As a creative person, I mean, and you like your space totally nice and neat and clean. As a creative person, I like a little more crazy, but you gotta even clean the crazy so that you have a place to be able to do the art.
Right. So you can find it too, like, know where your things are.
Where supplies are. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that could stifle you from creating would be, well, I would love to paint today, but I don't know where my tools are. Right. So having some organization. So it could be clearing clutter that way, letting go of things you don't need. If you need to have a keep, a toss, and a maybe pile. One of my friends who does closets, she does fashion stuff, but she'll go through your closet, take all of your clutter out. Yeah. And then help you find pieces to, for what you keep, helping you find pieces so that you can actually use that belt with this outfit or that. Anywho, so it could be that. It could be clothing. It could be, like Crystal said, it could be her art supplies. Maybe she needs to go through and toss things like, this is dried out anyway. Why is it sitting here? Or Maybe it's,
Well, and sometimes we look at something and we're like, oh, but this is still good. I can't get rid of it. What if I need it later? If it really is still good, find someone else who needs it right now. Because if you really need it later, then honestly, you can go buy it later. Like, give me a break. Unless it's some like ridiculously priceless thing, but I haven't really found anything yet other than some heirloom handed down over the generations. There's really nothing that's priceless.
love that.
That's me anyway.
So that's one. One could be a physical letting go of clutter. I think that is one that if you're a doer, especially going into January 1, I always have my people go through their kitchen and get rid of like the Tupperware that doesn't have a lid to it. Like if you can't find the stinking lid to it, get rid of it. If it's going to cause you chaos when you're trying to pack things up, get rid of it. Invest in a nice set of glass containers that you should be eating your food within 2 to 3 days, that you won't, you don't need 20 pieces of Tupperware, guys. You don't need that.
Well, and let's think families. So as we approach Christmas, I know that in my household, the day after Christmas was clean out all your old stuff day to make room for that new stuff that you got at Christmas. But I know families who do that in preparation. They might go through, like they might have, lived a life of a little bit of excess. And so they've got all these things, grandparents like to buy stuff because the grandkids aren't around. And so before Christmas, if they're, gently used, go through them before Christmas and donate them. Somebody somewhere will need that stuff. And then it's a lot easier to let go of things if you know that your things are going to go out there and be loved like you feel like you love them.
I agree with you so much on that. And then also just letting go of what no longer serves you. So there's that physical, right? Like what things could we clear clutter in our cars, our homes, our computers, my desktop? So guilty right now. It still hasn't been cleaned out, Crystal. I keep procrastinating that one. The truth is I have a Mac and I don't know how to put a folder on my desktop to put. I just need to Google it. I almost texted you, Crystal, and said, how do you do that? And I thought, one of my pet peeves is when people ask me something, they could Google
well,
it.
The sad thing is it's a Mac, so I can't really help you.
Okay. Anyhow, we'll work on that one. That will be on my list of clutter to clear, you guys. Maybe I'll have to do a post on clearing my desktop. Maybe I'll do a post on how to add a file to your Mac if you're like me and kind of new to Mac, and there you go. But then the other one is not just the physical clutter, but limiting beliefs.
Yeah, totally. Old stuff, that baggage that we just keep packing up and carrying with us to the next place, even if we do it unconsciously, subconsciously, like we're not even aware that we are doing this thing, but we do it.
So I ask you, what can you let go of? What is a belief? Is a thought you keep thinking, something maybe you thought from childhood. Maybe someone told you a long, long time ago that you're not an athlete.
You're not an artist.
You're not an artist. Oh, our family's just big.
Oh,
is that really? I mean, maybe there is some genetics to that. Sure, but is that an excuse
built
to not
like Uncle Dave?
Got it. And how can we rethink that? How can we let go of that? Maybe so that would be a journal prompt for you. So what is an old belief that might be limiting me? Like maybe I'm looking back and sorry, I keep using the personal trainer one, but guys, this applies to all facets of life. What is it when I start a new program where all I do is kill my body day after day without ever working up to, this ability that's coming into these really hard killer core classes where they, beat you to a pulp and then restrict your eating to rabbit food. That's an extreme case. It's not everybody thinks that way, but that is not setting yourself up for success.
No.
And that's the program that I offer in January is a way to learn how to take on new habits, one step at a time with proper nutrition and integrating it into your own personal lifestyle, along with exercise that works for you and that doesn't beat you down. So, but also with Crystal, go ahead. What's your?
No, you're good. No, keep going.
I
was breathing.
That applies to everything, right? That could apply to something else. It could be in New Year's, I want to become an artist and I want to bring back a childhood love of mine of painting. Crystal, that's something you did.
Absolutely. I let go of that limiting belief. I had a teacher who said, "Oh, you're not an artist." And thank you very little. Back in the day where we went through and we had 4 different, like we had 3 months where you spent in art and you were supposed to become an artist. Like, really? So yeah, anyway. So that was a limiting belief.
I have to interject. I have to interject for you.
Why?
This teacher.
Oh.
You guys, Crystal and I had the same teacher. I had this teacher when I lived in Watauga, which was like I was in kindergarten. Oh. She was a very scary woman. And she was a very unhappy woman. Mm-hmm. And what is the point that I want to bring up here is knowing this woman and knowing this energy. And she was, and this is not a slight on her. This is not, bless her, right? Like, bless her, release me. Mm-hmm. This is not a judgment. She was clearly an unhappy person living a lifestyle. I think that, like, if she were born in the 90s, she'd be having a much different life right now. Yeah. Probably, agreed. Probably living in the LGBTQ community. And so she was not a happy woman because it wasn't safe to be that way in the 80s, nope. 70s, and 80s. And so all of that fear and yuck this lady was putting out on kids. Because I remember her, she scared the crap out of me. She was a scary woman. I did not enjoy art class.
We had several of those, and we're not going to go into those at the moment. I had another one as well, and I've worked to let this go, and my program in January, it's going to be kind of the same thing, but instead of always, sometimes we don't know what we need to let go, and so if we need a little help, that's where my oracle cards come in, because it's a very simple way to help identify, pull out those thoughts from our subconscious on those areas that we really do need to let go, or areas that we need to work on. One that keeps coming up for me is a lack mentality. I hate that, but and you saw that on my face, but the lack mentality comes from a limiting belief that was given to me by my grandmother. And at the time, it was something that comforted me and made me feel better about why we didn't have. Like, we will always have what we need, but we will never have more. We will only have what we need. And like, she drilled that into my head. Like, she would go to bingo and win, like, if before something broke in her house, she would go to bingo and she'd magically win money. And then the next day the thing would break in her house and she had just enough money to pay for whatever that thing was. And so to me, that limiting belief was like, at least I'll always be taken care of. But it's a limiting belief. So it's turned into a lack mentality of, well, I can't have what those people have because I'll only have just what I need to survive. And so I've had to work very hard to let that thing that used to make me comfortable and now let it go because it no longer serves me. And that's hard. Yeah.
And let go of the judgments against the people. So that was not a slight towards our old art teacher. I feel for her compassion, and also for your grandmother.
Not a slight towards my grandmother.
We all did the best we could as leaders, you know, and as parents, grandparents, the people that were around us. We were all just doing what we could do, right? I do believe we all mean to do well. And so letting go of judgment, letting go of anger towards others is part of healing. And then letting go of those old thoughts so that we have room for new beliefs.
Yes. And here's the last one, because I think this one builds beautifully. Oh, sorry about my timer being out loud. Really?
Oh, that was
so the next, it builds to this next thing. So for me, and this bothers me about the world in general right now, so much that so much of the energy that's put out there is about fear and how to go against this fear or watch out for this fear. Like it's, you don't watch television, but that's what's put on television, like fear, 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 everything fear, all the programming, all the ads, everything is about how do I keep somebody safe? How do I this? How do I that? And we need to let that go, right? So that we can live, you know, our most free life, which I think leads us to the second topic and the second week that we want to talk about, double dog dare.
Double dog dare. Yes.
I'm so excited about double dog dare. Like, I think it's going to be my favorite week of the 4.
Yeah, that one's going to be fun. We're going to do some fun stuff with that. But for this week, your prompts are either journal about something, a belief that you need to let go of.
Oh yes, I'm sorry, I forgot about
a belief
the
that you need to let go of. And then your, no worries. And then also, and or, so it could be a yes and, you can do decluttering. And if you feel overwhelmed, if clutter is an issue for you and you're like, I would love to do that, but I don't even know where to start. One drawer, one cabinet, literally, like when you go to put your dishes away, maybe you pull everything out of that one little spot. You just tuck all the lids that don't fit.
Pick the easy one first. It's
easy.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when you enjoy it, when you get that feel of like, oh, I opened that cupboard and just it really is life changing to have a clear cupboard. Then that will feel so good that it can help you go, okay, I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes, and I'm going to go into my closet, and I'm just going to find 5 things that don't fit anymore. And I mean that, like if it doesn't fit, and you're thinking, I'm going to get back into that size, blah blah. Screw that.
No. It's also the end of the year. It's a great tax donation. You can write off so much on your up to so much on your taxes for Goodwill. So just throw it in a garbage bag, throw it in a box, like just take it to Goodwill. It's fine.
And the truth is, you lose a few pounds. If you do lose a few pounds, you need to reward yourself with a new pair of jeans. Okay.
Exactly.
Let the other ones go.
Don't wear the same old thing.
The one thing my friend tells me, my fashion friend, is save your belts. Like apparently belts just come back and forth. I don't know. I don't wear belts, so I don't save my belts per se. But she says belts come back into style. Yeah. So anyway, your prompts are a limiting belief. What's a limiting belief to let go of? Maybe tell you can journal a little. I recommend not spending too much time in the negative of it.
Nope.
But just acknowledging it and processing that and going, okay, that's what that is. And then reframing it into, I let go of this. Maybe even ask your higher self, your higher power to come in and support you, your angels. I use angels. Ask your angels to come in and help support you in letting go of these old thoughts. And then the other, so you got your physical and you've got your journal thoughts.
And if it's an old thought from when you were little, go back and give yourself a little hug. Like seriously, like just imagine yourself going back there and giving your younger self a hug, because it's just a nice way to release it and let it go. Like, I love you. I recognize this is a thing, but we both need to let it go. Okay. I know.
Okay. I love it. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week for our next session, and we're going to be doing our big one is going to be
double dog dare.
Stepping outside of your comfort zone. See you next week.
Bye.